All right, let's try this again. Holy shikes. This hangout down here is live. It says, let's see. And it's showing me up there. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome back to the channel. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on here that I gotta talk about, and I'm gonna figure out as we go along. So I just bear with me. Hey, how you doing, C Thomas? Nice to see you. That's probably a little better. Let me ask you, just is it working better? Can you all hear that? Problem is I got to use Google Hangouts now, and there's a whole story behind that. And obviously it's looking like the quality of the stream doesn't look all that hot either. Maybe it's because I have it on 40. Let's see if this looks better in 720. um it may or may not. Anyway, so welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. As you can see, I'm not using my usual microphone. I'm not using my usual setup. I've been on vacation, and some of you probably already do that. And in fact, some of you, I made a couple just brief videos while I was on vacation, and those were all just basically things that were happening. And one thing in particular that happened while I was on vacation was our vehicle got broken into. And the things that got taken, two of the bags got taken from the vehicle that let me go backwards. Okay. We did a trip for my son's graduation. We flew to Portland, Oregon, and then we drove from Portland we went down the Oregon coast a little bit, also came back and saw the University of Oregon, stopped, spent a night in Redding, California. Then we drove to San Francisco, spent a couple days there, then we drove down the Pacific Coast Highway between San Francisco and San Bernardino, which is really beautiful. Then we stayed in the Los Angeles area for a few days. And then from there, drove to San Diego, spent a few days there, then spent the last 3 nights, drove to Las Vegas, spent 3 nights there. Well, during the, now I keep looking over here because I'm not sure, is everyone here? Well, see, Thomas, that is, yeah, you went through San Francisco. No wonder you got robbed. That is probably an accurate statement to make. Fascinating. You should be on that. So when we got to San Francisco, we could not check into our hotel for a few hours. So we said, well, you know what? Let's go do some sightseeing early. And so we went to go see the Golden Gate Bridge. It was a pretty foggy day, so it was not the best day for taking pictures or whatnot, but it was still pretty cool to be down there. I'd been there before, but the family that I was with had not seen it before. And then we're like, okay, well, let's go grab some lunch so we can, until we go check in the hotel. And so we stopped it's near Golden Gate Park. We went to have lunch, and while we were having lunch, we came back to the car. Well, no, actually, I fed a meter once, so I actually had gone back to the car one time. Nothing had happened, but then we went back to the car again, and there's this woman standing behind her car on her phone. And I look back there, and there's glass all over the ground, and the back window of the vehicle got broken out, and they got a couple of our bags. One of them happened to be my bag with all my equipment that I use for streaming. So because I was going to do some streaming while I was on the road. So I took my good laptop that I'd use for streaming and editing software. So I just bought it a few months ago. Well, I bought it, I think, in December, before I started doing this stream. And then my best microphone that I had, and some my high my high definition webcam that I use, my tripods, cords, everything that I use to stream was in that bag. So, that explains what I'm doing now. This particular setup is I got my old blue Yeti Snowball microphone. I got an old laptop that really has very little power. And I was trying to set up my Streamlabs stuff on that. Basically that other computer had my entire video production life on it, and that was pretty. So that's pretty upsetting. It just straight out sucks, but is what it is. You know, we could have lost a lot more stuff. Fortunately, there were some people around when the guy smashed the window, and some people around and yelling at him and told him to stop. And so they only got those two small items, and then the guy, I mean, the guy jumped in a car. There was a car waiting. They took off. The car had some fake dealer plates over the license plates. They couldn't get a plate number. And then apparently, so here's the funny part too. So we go to the police station, you know, to report it, you know, because the woman who witnessed it was very nice, gave me her phone number, you know, gave me a description, even though it didn't help a whole lot. But then we went to the police station, which was the funny thing about going to the police station is when we got there, the cop who was on duty, there was a person in front of us, and they were telling almost the exact same story. Their car got broken into, some bags were taken out, blah blah blah, and the officer on duty said, you know, I've been on duty for about an hour, and this is the third one of these I've dealt with already. And the guy in front of me said, yeah, you know, what happened to him is that one of them had seen someone walking down the street. You know, the cars are parallel parked in San Francisco. They have, you know, lines along this particular street, and a guy was walking down the street just looking into every car. They saw this guy looking at every car, and they thought, well, that's kind of weird. What's he doing? And then, you know, a little bit later, that's when he got robbed. So uh it's just one of those things. So anyway, so now I'm on this setup with a computer that really can't run OBS. And you know, I'm hoping I'll replace this stuff eventually, but I know my homeowner's insurance will cover some of it. But we've got $1,000 deductible on our homeowner's insurance, because it's not like, you know, when you get homeowner's insurance, you're expecting that's for big things, you know, the hail damage to the roof or your siding or something. So we have a higher deductible just to keep it more reasonably priced. And in this case, I don't even know if it's worth it to file a claim. Is the premiums, you know, going to be worth to file a claim? But on one nice note though about that is, you know, I made a video about this when I was out in, you know, the day it happened, and some of you have been very, very kind already, and have you know, what the hell is the cursor? There it is. Some of you've been very kind, and I do have to thank a few people. Now where the hell is it? I'm sorry. Everything is everything's taking me time. So first of all, thank you, Duck Dog. I know I've already thanked you once, but I'm going to thank you again. Tarai Deos, Chaos Eve, Johnny Hellcat, who've already, you know, done some donations via Streamlabs. I can't tell you how happy that made me, just that people were cared enough to do that while I'm on the road and not actually doing anything on here. But you know, it's certainly a frustrating thing for me. You know, the computer also had about, I'm going to say, I couldn't even tell you how many hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours of video footage of different things that I've been putting together for different projects. One was a project for my mother's 90th birthday. All that video I was there, and I had started editing something, which her birthday's coming up. So I was editing a video for that. All the trips that I've taken. Fortunately, I have some of this stuff backed up on the cloud, but it's still a pain in the ass. I still got to get um, another laptop at some point that's actually going to be able to handle, you know, doing video production and rendering. The nice thing about my computer that I had that's gone, I could render a 20-minute video in about 8 minutes. It was, it had plenty of RAM, plenty of processing speed. It was mostly a solid state drive, where I did the video stuff, so that made it faster. It was just and then I dig up my 10-year-old laptop for this. So frustrating. Yeah, always count on low IQ street shitters to steal from their betters. Well, I'm going to talk about that because I want to talk a little bit about the experience of the trip, because it was, I am a fan. My favorite kind of traveling. Hello, Cindy. Oh, by the way, I didn't even say hi to everybody. By the way, C. Thomas Corbin was my first person on today, and even when I tried to stream via Streamlabs, you were first. So thank you for being here. Good morning, Max Del Rio, Duck Dog, and Cynical Lindsay. Hello, how you doing? Yes, I am back. So it's nice to see a few people showing up. I didn't, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put this out on Twitter. That's what I didn't do. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, everything's going to look different today. At least, everything's going to look different for a while until I get this. What the hell? And they messed up Twitter. Twitter's all messed up too. Did they change something on Twitter while I was on vacation? At least the desktop version. Let's see. We're back and we're live. Well, I'm live. Here, just let me type real quick. And I can't even use my. And the other things that items I lost. So, like I said, my laptop, my my Blue Yeti microphone. And not that's the end of the world, but I liked it. It worked. My webcam, cords. I had 2 backup battery packs, for charging phones. I had what else? I had something else in there that I think I forgot to put in the police report. I don't know, but all these cords, I had cords and all kinds of crap. Hang on a second here. Morning. Second here. There we go. Tweet that out. Anyway, God, this whole thing's just a pain in the butt, though. Oh well, and I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, so there you go. So anyway, let me tell you a little bit, just some thoughts of what my expectations were when we went on this trip and what the reality was. So, for example, I didn't know a whole lot about Portland. I know it's kind of the granola city, USA. I know it's super liberal and whatever, but the thing that we didn't get to see it there. I mean, I was surprised at the number of homeless people in Portland, like in the downtown area. But other than that, it was it was interesting. It seemed kind of a run down city, but it was very pretty. Flowers everywhere. They call it the Rose City. We went by a park that was not literally 2 acres of roses, of just different kind of roses. Beautiful place. And when we went there, we met a friend who took us. We spent a day looking at waterfalls, which I'll actually do a video about that at some point. Although I lost, that's the one day a video when we got to San Francisco. I'd already moved it from my phone to my computer and deleted it off my phone, but fortunately my phone automatically backs up all my stuff on the cloud. So, and I didn't take my camera with me. At least I did take my camera with me. My cameras and my lenses and stuff. because I just feel like that would have been taken too, although it would have been a different bag. But I did everything on my phone. So, hello, Tyler F. Good morning. So as I did everything with my phone, but so in Portland we went and saw some waterfalls. It was great. If you're following along the Cascade Mountains, the coastal mountains kind of meet in that area along the Columbia River, and there's all these waterfalls. We went and saw four of them, and then had a meal down at the base of one of the waterfalls. They have a kind of a restaurant pavilion there, and it was really cool. I thought Portland was a cool town. Like I said, it seemed more run down than I was expecting. I always think of Western cities as, new and shiny and whatnot. But hello, Richo, how you doing? Um, and Portland just seemed run down. But the place we stayed was this really nice Airbnb. They had really nicely decorated, beautifully set up. That made us happy. Um, and then also, the other thing we did in Portland is we went to one of the largest Japanese garden in the United States, and that was just cool. There's all kinds of Japanese style areas, bridges, and koi ponds, and all that other kind of stuff. And they also had a whole bunch of bonsai trees. There was a couple of these bonsai trees. One was 150 years old that, whoever had been handing it down had been working on it. So the tree itself looked like a full grown tree, but it's little, it's about, a foot and a half tall. Um, so that was pretty cool. So then, let's see. Let's see, we headed from after Portland, being in Portland a couple days, we were heading to San Francisco. Now we went to the Oregon coast first, um, and had lunch in this small town on the beach, and then drove down to another town where we were going to go try to see some sea lions, but they weren't out that day. And then drove back to then came back inland to the University of Oregon because my son wanted to see that, and spent a night in Redding, California, and then we went to San Francisco. And so now this is the point I wanted to make. Um, Portland, like San Francisco, let's see, T. Thomas, Portland, like San Francisco or LA, have a homeless issue because they refuse to address because their upper management are corrupt as shit. I'm gonna I don't. You're probably right on that. It is really weird dynamic there. Um, I think the other part in Portland is so many Californians are moving there, and so the prices have just gone out of hand there as far as homes and things. So I'm going to detach this chat so I can see it. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second here, because I have, with this setup, I'm still running two screens, but I can't see the chat while I'm doing other stuff. So give me just a second here. Pop out chat. There we go. And I'm going to move it over here so I can see it. Yeah, this I'll tell you what. This whole thing, having to run things on this particular laptop, which may have 4 megs of RAM if I'm lucky. I don't even remember what I did with this computer. I haven't used it in so long, and I gave my other laptop to one of my kids. Um, it's so hard dealing with this and not be able to use OBS and actually do things that are interesting. So the okay, so San Francisco. So here's what I was expecting in San Francisco. 'Cause we talk a lot about we talk a lot about the problems of California in the news, on these shows, on the internet, and we're always talking about San Francisco being a literal shithole. People taking dumps in the street and things like that. Now, fortunately, in my experience, we saw none of that. um, Apparently, San Francisco has done a pretty good job of they've done a pretty good job of um, keeping it clean. Now, granted, we were only there 2 days, but the places we went, we were our hotel was an older hotel right in the middle of the city, um, literally right on the main line. We got there, and it was interesting because it's Pride Month, and so there was a whole, pride signs everywhere and everything, which is, San Francisco's. Although it's interesting, um, it, it- Portland, we were seeing signs in Portland about Portland being the gayest city in America for Pride Month, and there is some evidence of that, as far as just the amount of signage and flags and just things everywhere in Portland. Uh, there are signs of that versus San Francisco. Maybe it's because maybe in San Francisco it's just a given, and so they don't have to put it up everywhere. But in Portland, it was everywhere. I mean, which is fine. That's cool. Good for them. But anyway, the thing in San Francisco, we didn't. We granted we were only there 2 nights, but we saw a few homeless people in the downtown area. But I guess maybe it was just where we were because we went um, down in the park near the Oakland Bay Bridge, walked that entire strip that goes along the bay there from one end to the other end of the bay. For you, basically, you're going from the Oakland Bay Bridge to the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was uh, it was very cool. Hi, Maddie, how you doing? And hello, Francis Lancer, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Um, but uh, but my son and my wife, they decided to walk that entire stretch, and myself and Grandma Kay, our friend that went with us, we decided to take a water taxi. So we both got a different view of the whole thing. Their view is from taking a walk. Now, they walked from that end all the way down to Fisherman's Wharf. What is going on with my mouse? Gosh, this is just, oh, come on, man. Anyway, um, but anyway, so the point was, San Francisco was not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Now, granted, they hire hundreds of people to clean the streets at night, and you see people clean the streets. So, but anyway, it wasn't as bad. Let's see. Gay pride is obnoxious and overrated. Yeah. What? Wait a minute. What happens, to Thomas? Was it something I said? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You're all good, dude. um, but anyway, so but the only thing about San Francisco, except they have a huge car break-in problem. Oh, the other thing too about the car break-in. So, like I said, we went to the police station. The guys there said it was the third time that it happened, and he'd only been on shift in the hour. Then, so my wife had some medications she had to go replace. So we went over to a pharmacy because we called her clinic or home from home, and they set a prescription out. So we went over to this CVS pharmacy, and she and Grandma Kay, who was a doctor, in her profession. But anyway, they went in the pharmacy, and my son and I are sitting in the car with a broken window in the back, and we're just sitting there. And I'm, just kind of being annoyed naturally. And I look in my side rear view mirror, and there's a guy behind my car. And he's like, he's getting his phone out. He's trying to make a phone call. And so I open the car door and I look back and I go, can I help you? And he goes, oh, you're in the car. He was actually calling the police for us. So at least, he was calling the police saying, oh, he thought he saw a break-in. And then he said, oh, never mind, they're in the car. And so at least there are helpful people in San Francisco. I mean, at least there are people who are willing to, try to help other people out. And so I got out of the car and I went to go, just chat with him for a second because he's kind of felt bad that he was calling. He did realize we were in the car. And so as I'm talking to him, he goes, yeah, that happens so much here in San Francisco. Just car break-ins are a really big thing because there's so many that they can't even pursue them all. And he's telling me that, we're in the parking lot of CVS, and he points across the street and he said, yeah, I own that restaurant right there. And one day I had to come pick up something from a restaurant, but then I also had to go get my kids from school. So I had my kids' backpacks in the back of my car. And I went in, he said, I went in the restaurant, got whatever I needed to do, came back out. And in that short time that he walked in the restaurant and came back out, I think he had to drop his kids' backpacks off. Someone had smashed his window, taken his kids' backpacks out of the car. And so they just get tons of them. Um, yeah, Grill and Pirate P, good morning. And you know what? I think it was like, was it a car robbing ring? Lookout calling his buddies about a car with out of state plates. That's, I think, exactly what it was, because, and it's not necessarily out of state plates because, now, yeah, but our rent a car had Oklahoma plates. That's what we thought too. That was the first thing we thought. Oh, it's Oklahoma plates. Um, but not necessarily. What they did is they had a guy, one of the people, in fact, the guys who were in the police station in front of us, the same thing happened to them. They said someone saw a guy walking down the street, just looking at every car, every single car, to see what was in them. And then the guys came up in a car, jumped out, smashed the window, grabbed what they could, jumped in the car, took off. And they had, as I said before, they had these fake like dealer plates over their license plates, so you couldn't see the license plate. So, the lady who called for us, she could describe the car. Um, the guy who tried to chase him down, tried to grab him, but the guy, jumped in a car and ran off. So they are car robbing rings. They just do it. I mean, and it's a big problem. And the guy, who owned the restaurant that was telling me about it said, yeah, you can't leave anything visible in your car. I mean, if you leave your cell phone charger in the car, they will break your windows to get a cell phone charger. The other thing about that, I was in San Francisco in 1991. I drove out there, visiting from some friends out there. And the only two times where I've driven into San Francisco, well, in 91, my car got broken into then too. I had a boom box in the back seat. The car was all locked up. Somehow they got in the car, and they they stole my boombox out of the car in 91. So I think I may not be driving to San Francisco anymore. Who knows? I'll stick with using Uber and shit like that and just wait till I can get in the hotel. Good morning, Johnny Hellcat. By the way, Johnny, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you so much for the donation. I really, really appreciate that. Everything helps. In fact, part of the reason that I was able to get it, I have replaced one item so far, which was the webcam, because the quality of webcam on this computer is a garbage. So I went and bought a new webcam, and that's helpful thanks to Johnny Hellcat, who donated $10. And this was from the 21st. Here's some money to put towards the premium anyway. You've always been awesome. Keep being awesome. And then, Johnny, you're awesome too. I really appreciate that. Also, I don't know if you guys did your stream or not. I don't know if you did that. They were going to do a stream for me, and I told them, well, do a stream for someone who has bigger problems. Although, you know what, like I said, I won't stop taking donations. But I think it was it. Let me think about this. What the hell? What the heck is going on here? Did they now? What did they do to Twitter? They screwed it up. They really messed it up here. Anyway, they were going to do a stream, and they were going to donate some of the money to me and to Moonshock. But I would say if you had that stream yet, please donate that money to Moonshock. She's going through a lot of shit with her breast cancer and stuff, and it's got to be rough. So anyway, at least we don't have issues in Chicago. Yeah, you have. It depends on what part of Chicago you're in. We had the stream later today. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's cool, Johnny Hellcat. So anyway, so let's all right. Anyway, so the rest of our trip, I guess it's not eventful. Los Angeles, we hung out at uh, we went to Santa Monica Pier and Venice Beach one day, and then we also spent some time. My mother lives in Long Beach, my birth mother, so she and my one of my sisters and her family, we all went out to dinner one night. I'm trying to think what else we did. Oh, we spent some day on the. We spent a day on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, walking around there, and then we also walked through Beverly Hills and had a cocktail, or not had a went and had a cocktail in a restaurant on Rodeo Drive. Moonshock. Oh, Moonshock's a dude. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, oh, so Moonshots have well. Either way, Moonshock's having the problem going through the cancer, you know, cancer treatment stuff. So, like I said, I didn't know that. I just started following Moonshocks. I didn't even know who Moonshock was until after that. But I knew that they'd done a stream for him before, and they're doing it now. So anyway, he's going through a lot more shit than I am. I lost some things. Okay. And I would love to be able to replace those things. But in the case of if you're going to do and I absolutely appreciate the help, but I was in the middle of a great vacation, whereas he's going through cancer treatment. So it's tough for him. So that's kind of what my whole thoughts on that were. All right. Now, so real quick, and then let's see. So Los Angeles, San Diego, we went to San Diego Zoo, spent a day on the beach, and then we finished our trip in Las Vegas, which y'all know what Vegas is about, baby. But I didn't gamble in Vegas. I did no gambling whatsoever. The cool thing is, we did this trip for my son's college graduation. We spent all this time together. Grandma Kay left once we hit San Diego. She flew back to the Twin Cities from San Diego. We drove to Vegas, spent 3 nights in Vegas. I didn't gamble once. Unbelievable. But my friend's son had a couple of his friends meet us there, and he and they're all over 21, so they had a great time in Vegas. They gambled, drank, partied, whatever. And we just hung out. My wife and I got to spend some time together, just walking around Vegas. We had some drinks one night, but really we went to Old Vegas. Now I hadn't been to Vegas in a while, and I didn't realize how old downtown Vegas has changed. It's really kind of fun down there. They built this big screen over the street, and they do all these light shows and stuff, and they have zip lines running down the middle of downtown. And it was a really fun time. We spent one night there, and then we spent one night on the Strip, and then we just chilled most of the time other than that. But so that was our Vegas trip. So hey, Seamus Derby, how you doing? For those of you just joining, the reason my stream looks very different today is because I can't use Streamlabs OBS because my computer that could run it is no longer a part of my life. So we'll work on that later. So anyway, so now let's get into some of the normal stuff I do on the Morning Night Live. And the problem also here is when you're using Google Hangouts, my transitions aren't going to be pretty, and I don't have all this stuff, but I still need to shill, and I'm especially going to shill now. If you would like to support the Morning Night Live, you can do so by sharing the streams with those via Twitter, via anyway, the share button, that little arrow down here, that little share button down here. Click that share button. Share this out on social media. Also, you click the like button if you like what's going on, or you can also support us through Streamlabs. The link is down below, down in the description. I'm a little flustered because I can't run the show the way I want to. But if you want to donate, that's great. But I still enjoy doing the show even when you don't. So trying to keep up here. All right. The other part is I don't get the alerts. Let's see here. What is that? All right. Hang on a second. Give me one moment, please. Oh, no, no, no. That's not what I would do. Um, so I wanted to go through. Now, here's the thing. Other thing about the other thing about my vacation that kind of got me to thinking about some things is I did my best to avoid Twitter, Facebook, social media, and even YouTube for the last couple weeks, other than uploading some 2-minute videos. Now, oh, by the way, is this stream coming out really blurry to you? It's got to be this computer. I it's oh, it's frustrating. Anyway, I'll figure out how to get this computer to optimize the stream as we go. But anyway, I was really good about avoiding the news over the last couple of weeks. And so much has happened. Now today's Wednesday, and normally I would be doing what do I do on Wednesdays? We do the Jussie update on Wednesdays. Why is this thing here? We do our Jussie updates on Wednesdays. Stream is not bad. Not too bad. Okay. Good morning, MC. How you doing? Uh-oh. Hammer time. Um, yeah, so here I'm gonna change the size of this here so I can see everything. I don't need that there. Yeah, you have to bear with me. My production is going to be almost non-production because again, I'm not using Streamlabs now. Anyway, but like I said, I was avoiding. I really stayed off Twitter as much as I could. Tried to, and I didn't follow those. Although, there was one day where I happened to go on Twitter, and concentration camps was trending, and I was like, Wait, what? Huh?" So I did get to follow that whole AOC controversy with concentration camps. Oh, what a dummy. But there's still people talking about it too. She won't shut up about it. It's amazing. She will not. Uh, the problem that I'm having with her and everyone who's advocating that is they seem to only want to burn it down. They have no solutions. Their only solution is to just let everybody come in. Um, so they're I mean, I don't know what you do. If you have record numbers amounts of people coming in, it's not like any of this is new. One of the great things I saw in this now here, in fact, we'll put this one on the screen. As soon as I figure out and remember how. Gosh, I can't remember the last time I used Hangouts. So there was this video going around, and I'm going to put this on the screen. Oh, yes, I am back. Hi, check your logic. So I'm going to put this on the screen here. So I'm pretty sure you're not going to hear it, but so there's this thing about this, saying this Trump official tried to argue that detained children don't need soap, toothbrushes, or beds to be safe and sanitary while on border patrol. And so I found this very interesting thread. What the heck's going on here? Is this? I'm assuming you see my screen, right? Yeah, you can. Okay, good. All right. So this is an interesting thread because everyone's talking about this Trump official who is trying to defend the fact that there were no toothbrushes or soap. Here's an interesting thread by someone named AG. It's just AG Conservative. Let me give you an example of just how dishonest all these arguments have been. How many people are aware that the conditions being discussed in this viral clip from the legal case re toothbrushes and sleep occurred during the Obama administration? This was an appeal of a 2017 ruling related to a violation of the Flores Agreement during the Obama administration. The government lawyer's job is not to argue about whether ICE should provide those things, they should, but that the Obama administration didn't violate the Flores Agreement. Her argument has nothing to do with any unique policy from the current administration. Informed people know that, but they have been using this for days to suggest some unique and intentional cruelty is being enforced now. Here is the ruling they are reviewing. You will notice that the original finding of a breach of the Flores Agreement occurred in 2015. So I can open that up. Here's the file. It'll take a second because this computer is extremely slow, but we'll see if it pops open here. All right, here's the PDF. United States District Court, Central District of California, Civil Minutes General. Title, Jenny Flores et al. Versus Jefferson B. Sessions 3 et al. Now, again, right in the introduction of this, on July 24th, 2015, the court found that defendants Jay Johnson and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and its subordinate entities, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, had breached the settlement agreement that they had reached with plaintiff Jenny L. Flores and other class members, accompanied minors and unaccompanied minors. That's the case number. The court subsequently gave defendants an opportunity to respond to the court's proposed remedies. On August 21st, 2015, the court issued its remedial order. So this is from now, unless the entire country fit into a DeLorean and went backwards and made Trump president in 2015, I don't think this has anything to do with the Trump administration. But they already know this. They know that they're lying. They know this whole thing is just full of lies. They have no solutions. And it's odd that the Democrats, are fighting giving money to make, to help with these facilities, whatnot, because they don't I'm not gonna editorialize yet. This continues. On July 6, 2016, the Ninth Circuit issued its opinion affirming the district court in part and reversing in part. In particular, the Ninth Circuit concluded that while the settlement unambiguously applies both to unaccompanied and unaccompanied minors, it does not create affirmative release rights for parents. So, so this is, again, they're arguing a case. What the hell? Oops. No. I don't want to exit. They're arguing a case from before 2015. I'm pretty sure the president of the United States in 2015 was not Donald John Trump. So, they're just throwing all this. They're throwing all this bullshit as if any of this stuff is new. Oops, there's my, I didn't lose my bell though. I still have my bell. See, I have my bell because I didn't take it with me. Anyway, that's just fascinating case. Let's see. Let's find some news. It's 10:03. So, actually, let's see. Oh, just the update. See, I'm so disorganized. Usually I have all my tabs ready. I got it all going. Y'all know that here, let's do. Hang on a second here. You probably saw the video already, but I just got to tell you something that I was one of the few people who talked about this back when it happened. And maybe you'll recall this, maybe you won't. But as you know, a lot of the evidence from the Jussie Smollett case has been being shown. They have the police here it is right here. So this is the, hang on a second here, because I gotta remember that you can't hear it, but you don't necessarily need to hear it. All right, wait a minute. Let's pause this. Let's share my screen again. This is such a pain in the butt. I can't wait till I get this all back together. All right, here we go. So I'm sure many of you have seen this video, and this is hilarious to me. Um, so this is the police body cam when they went to Jesse Smollett's apartment after he was supposedly attacked in a racist, homophobic attack. And this is when the police, before he asked them to turn off the cameras, this is the body cam footage. Now, you can see the police talking to him. And in the background, you see Jesse Smollett wearing that sweater. And he's got this this rope around his neck, quote unquote. Like, you can't see me doing the quote unquote because I'm not doing OBS, but I'm just telling you, I'm giving you air quotes right now. So this rope that's around his neck, this noose. look at this noose. Okay, this is from the body cam footage. Okay, and the police officer says to him, the police officer looks at him and says, you want to take that off? And he says something about, well, I just wanted to make sure you all saw it. So yeah, so he's wearing this rope around his neck from this vicious attack 45 minutes later. But look at the rope. Look when he takes off the rope. It's like, it's like, remember when I said way back when, that when I was reading one of the reports, no, now look at that rope. Do you know what that is? That is a clothesline that you buy, at hardware stores or whatever, or Target, or, Walmart or whatever. It's a clothesline. Okay. In fact, it's wrapped up. It's bundled. In fact, you can see the folds, and it's brand new, a brand new rope, and it's a clothesline. And this dude, and in fact, you can see that it's still wrapped up like a clothesline. It's not a noose. It's wrapped up, and he takes it off. It still has the folds like a clothesline. Y'all can see that? And he's folding it back up just like it was before. So anyway, if you've been following me for a while, and you know how much I love the Jesse Smollett case, y'all remember that this incident happened on like a Friday, and on Saturday, the police had mentioned something about a rope, white rope with some kind of blue line in it. And I said immediately at the time, I said, they used a clothesline. It was a clothesline. That's the kind of rope that has the blue line in it. Oh my gosh, it's the worst. Just terrible, terrible acting. And that's what it was. Now, if I'm Jesse Smollett, okay, and I paid these guys, they're supposed to be doing this. We're staging this attack. Now, you gotta know, when they went out and bought some rope, and Jesse was saying, yeah, you need to buy some MAGA caps, and you need to buy some black masks, and you need to buy some rope so you can make a noose. These dudes of Nigerian descent went out and bought a clothesline. You know that when Jesse Smollett saw that, he had to be thinking, really, dude, this is the rope you bought? Oh, give me that rope. It'll have to do. Oh my gosh, it is so terrible, so terrible, so terrible. Oh, yeah, they should have bought some, rings for the shower curtain and all that stuff too. Oh, man. Oh, thank you, Angel Tibbs, for retweeting my thing there. Oh, guys. So anyway, um, so let's just do this because my frustration with this whole setup. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this computer um, upload and download things faster so that I can use OBS until I can replace my computer. Um, but let's see. And also here's the problem. Other thing. So I was saying the reason I was bitching earlier. Twitter moved a bunch of stuff around, and for some reason, it no longer gives you Twitter trends on an order, and that's what I do in this show. But there are a few things trending on Twitter. I give you a top 8 today, and maybe I should have been doing that all along. Maybe just doing 8 or so Twitter trends, because sometimes I just get carried away. Anyway, so let's get trending number 1 on Twitter today is BTS World. Do y'all know what that is? Do y'all know what that BTS oh, there's a new mobile video game that lets you be their manager. BTS is a K-pop band. I don't care about K-pop bands. Trending number 2. Here, let me put it up, pop it on the screen. As soon oh, this drives me nuts. This is gonna drive me crazy. Wednesday Wisdom. Oh, what I do? Screenshot, screen share. There's that. There we go. All right. Trending number 2 is Wednesday Wisdom. Top of the Wednesday Wisdom list today is, do you know God Kabir is giver of supreme peace? Yarud 532 to no more watch Sabina TV. I have no idea. Okay, that has to be something Hindu. And okay, so Wednesday Wisdom, that's not working today. And apparently Niraj Singh is trend. He's way up there on the top of all the Wednesday Wisdom, but you know what? I got to find a better one. Let's see. Pooh took his largest pot of honey and escaped with it to a broad branch of his tree. He then climbed down and escaped with another pot. When the whole escape was finished, there was Pooh sitting on his branch, and beside him were 10 pots of honey. A million. Okay. That's not, I don't know why that's wisdom. Boy, dog, and patience. Hmm. Let's just see. Let's just watch this without sound or music. The dog is waiting there while the kid plays in the puddle. Okay, that's funny. That is funny. Look at that dog just staying there, just waiting. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. All right, that's that's good enough for me to make me happy. Hey, Diesel Dave, how you doing? P Dog here with the snowball microphone and very very slow computer. All right, that was cool today. In case you missed it in the case you missed it in the past 12 hours, this guy thinks it's funny. Oh, Eric Trump was spat on. Dana Lash was fired. Robert Mueller agreed to testify in public. Every once in a while, all the stars line up perfectly. Wednesday Wisdom. Hey, that is going on right now. I got to break this to this guy, Brooklyn Dad, Defiant, whatever. That Mueller agreed to testify in public. I don't think that's going to go as well as he thinks it might. Here's the problem with Mueller's testimony today in front of Congress, and I'm going to watch it later. It's going on right now. If you're wondering, here's really what's going to happen. Mueller's not going to say anything new. Republicans are going to ask them unless it has reference. If I was a Republican on that congressional committee, oh boy. Oh wait, no, he's not testifying today. Google's testifying today. Excuse me. Mueller's going to testify sometime in July. There's going to be some really great questions from Republicans. But here's the other thing. By the time Mueller testifies, I got a feeling the IG report is going to be out. And so there's going to be some interesting questions that Mueller's going to have to ask as soon as the IG report comes out. So you know what, y'all, if you're one of those people who are just thrilled to death by the idea that Mueller is going to testify, I don't know if I want to get my hopes up too much. It just never seems to work out well for those people. All right, let's see. Let's now GOT 17. Is that, oh, that has something to do with K-pop too, doesn't it? Or yeah, okay, no more K-pop. Let's go on. What else here? We got Bob Lee from ESPN. He's trending because Bob Lee is retiring. Bob Lee, the longest tenured anchor at ESPN and a journalistic legend, says he's retiring at the end of this month. Lee joined ESPN when the sports network launched in 1979. So congratulations to Bob Lee on retiring. He's had a great career at ESPN. One of the things I really liked about Bob Lee talked about sports, and that's all Bob Lee talked about was sports. Can you hear me, Keith Olbermann? Yeah, hear me, brother? So here's Bob Lee's statement. Across 40 years, I've enjoyed a professional journey unimaginable when I joined ESPN on its first weekend of existence in 1979. Each day since has been a unique adventure, one I embraced for the challenge and unequaled fun of a job like no other. Now it is time for a change. I will be retiring from ESPN as of the end of this month. To be clear, this is entirely my decision. I enjoy the best of health and the many blessings of friends and family, and it is in that context I am making the change. Uh, um, to Jimmy Pitaro and the senior leadership team, my sincere personal thanks for their understanding and patience over the past months. Through the decades and my innumerable experience at ESPN, I have built many deep and fulfilling friendships. You know who you are. I hope you also know how much you mean to me. We have shared an American story unlike any other, and we will continue to do so in the years ahead. I have been gifted by our viewers and consumers with a precious commodity, your trust. To be invited into your homes was a privilege I never took for granted, one I worked each day to uphold. Thank you for that. In September, I signed off my last show saying, I'll catch you on the flip side. Now it's time to take that vinyl off the turntable, ask your folks, flip it over, and drop the needle on the B side. There are always great cuts and hidden gems on the B side. Thank you for a great run. So congratulations, Bob Lee, on retirement. And he's trending on Twitter because Bob Lee is just one of the good guys in broadcasting. Eric Trump is trending also, and that's because somebody spit on him. Not cool. Let's see. Eric Trump says he was spit on by a worker at a Chicago cocktail bar. But you know what? That's just, I'm sure people are laughing. Yeah, see, if you laugh, if you think it's funny, you do support assault. Media barely, let's see, Charlie Kirk says, Eric Trump gets spit on Chicago. Media barely covers and ignores. If Chelsea Clinton was spit on, there would be protests in the street and nonstop media coverage. Democratic privilege means you can assault the son of a president and get away with it. Yeah, so anyway, that's not cool. That's not cool. There's plenty of stupidity on Twitter. At a restaurant employee allegedly spit on Eric Trump last night, continuing a troubling trend of harassment towards conservatives in public. That's the Daily Caller article. Okay, so yeah, not cool. Don't spit on people. People don't spit on anybody. Although I would love to see what's that dude, Carlos Maza, the guy who's having the feud with Steven Crowder and YouTube. By the way, Carlos Maza didn't give a shit about Steven Crowder. Carlos Maza was trying to he's just trying to take another chunk out of YouTube because the corporate media is losing advertising revenue, and a lot of it is to things like YouTube and different social media, and so they just want to get they're bashing their competitors every way they can. So that was convenient. Um, okay, moving on. Press music video is trending number 6. What does that mean? Press music video. One thing you cannot take away from Cardi B is that she always serves looks and visuals. Okay, what does this mean? Press. That's Cardi B's new song. So it's trending. Oh my God, there's boobs. Okay, let's just move the boobs here. Okay, so that's Cardi B. I don't care. Why do I care? I'm old, people. I'm old. I don't need to care about Cardi B. Wednesday Thoughts is trending, and then the number 8 trending is Dana Lash because the National Rifle Association is ceasing its live programming on its NRA TV. And the same dude. Okay. Oh, Eric Trump got spit on and Dana Lash got fired on the same night. Dana Lash isn't getting fired. She's just not doing her TV gig. She's a spokesman for the NRA. While Dana Lash is trending because she was fired by the NRA from NRA TV, a reminder that she put KKK hoods on Thomas and Friends cartoon characters. She said she hopes that Mueller report burns in an AIDS fire and called gun safety advocates tragedy, dry humping whores. Shannon Watts, that's from Shannon Watts, the Moms Prevent organization, whatever. Shannon Watts is, well, she's trash too. But I don't remember that whole thing there. Oh, and she's excited a new Dixie Chicks album's coming out. Okay, so anyway, Dana Lash is trending. Breaking, both NRA TV and NRA spokesman Dana Lash Lash, whatever, are over. While the NRA may continue to air past content, its live broadcast has ended, and its on-air personalities, including Dana Lash, will no longer be the public faces of the NRA. Okay, so she did get fired. The NRA is they're having some money issues themselves, so uh I know that's probably one of the reasons why NRTVs go down. So anyway, so that's it for Twitter trends today. I'm just enough of that. Let's see. Let's put this back on, and you get the dog for a second. Hey, there I am. Okay. Um, so let's chat, people. In fact, I'm just gonna see what's happening in the chat. How does that sound? Let's see. I see it's I'd like to see you know what? That's just good point, Lindsay. I'd love to see how these assets would react if AOC was spit on or milkshaked. And that's what the point I was going to make earlier. Um, for example, Carlos Maza um had a whole little Twitter thread about how milkshaking is a great way to protest these people because it humiliates them. It makes them fear their time in public. And so he's one of those people that I think if you're I would just love the reaction if someone threw a milkshake at him, or if someone threw a milkshake at AOC, or if someone threw a milkshake at, who's the Congress dude? Jerry Nadler or Chuck Schumer. I, you know that there would be think piece after think piece after think piece about Republican violence. But nope, spit on Eric Trump, throw shake at this guy, do this and that. I got a better idea. Um, how about we just talk about things and not resort to people hate it when I say that this is violence, but it's an assault. Okay, let's just get away from assaulting people. And maybe if you don't want to listen to somebody, you can walk away or you can do whatever, but you don't need to assault people. I don't know. All right. All right. I'm gonna end this because I don't have an outro. I don't have anything going on with not being able to use OBS. So my streams aren't gonna look as pretty as they have in the past. But on Friday, 2 days from now. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is still FTG Thursday. So if you have nominations for the FTGs, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to um run sound through through this system because I can't use OBS for a while. And if I can, we'll touch on some videos here and there too. But also, if you have a nomination for FTG Thursday, you could send them to me at Dawg Knight. Write it out as one word. Don't put the period in there. And that's the same name as this channel. At Dawg Knight is at Twitter. You can send me DMs or you can do pdogknight at gmail.com. And you can send that's sending me via email. So those are still available. Also, just a reminder, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button or the share button down there. And if you want to help support the stream or chip in a couple bucks toward my new laptop. By the way, thanks Johnny Hellcat again. I'm gonna thank you again because you were the only one that I hadn't thanked yet. My Streamlabs link is down below. All of those donations go through PayPal. So I only put the one link on there. Let's see. And one final note. Let me finish with this. While I was on vacation, like I said, if you didn't hear already, we flew to Portland, drove from Portland, pretty much down all the way to the coast, all the way down to San Diego. And then from San Diego, we drove to Las Vegas. Now, let me make this as my final note. While I was expecting to see, I was expecting to see some things that I didn't want to see. I was expecting to see Trump protests everywhere. I was expecting to see feces in the street in San Francisco. I was expecting to see homeless people everywhere in Los Angeles. I was expecting the worst. And while I did see a very limited amount of those things, one thing that I think people forget is how vast our country is, as far as just square mileage. And so when you hear about a lot of the bad things in our country, you got to realize one, the bad things aren't everywhere. And two, someone described this a while back. If you took the entire floor plan of your home and took out a BB, like a BB gun BB, pellet, whatever, and dropped it on the floor, your home represents everywhere you go, and that BB is the one bad thing. Okay. And there may be BBs scattered throughout some of the homes, whatever, but you're not necessarily going to see the bad things. But the other thing is one of the greatest ways, and I've always thought this of seeing the country is taking some slower mode of transportation. So, for example, if you really want to see the country, you can fly somewhere and get there fast. But if you drive there, you're going to see a lot more. If you bicycle there, you're really going to see a lot more, and so on and so on. This trip reminded me of how much beauty there is in our country. Because when we were in Portland and we saw the park that was full of roses, about almost 2 acres or at least an acre of nothing but roses in this park, roses, a fountain, and a clubhouse. Or when we were driving through the Cascades, Cascade Mountains and going to see waterfalls, or as you're driving between, along the ocean in Oregon or in Southern California, and just seeing just the beauty of these places, or even as we're driving from San Diego to Las Vegas, which you think, even the desert is beautiful. We're pretty close to, we drove near Death Valley, California, and just the scenery differences in different parts of the country are so fascinating. So if you ever get a chance to do that, just take a long trip in a car and stop little places. One of the things we did is when we were driving from Portland, when we decided, okay, we're going to spend the night in Redding, California, but we don't want to go straight there. Um, so we went to the coast and just drove down the coast and stopped at a little restaurant, little hole in the wall restaurant in some little town that we'd never heard of. And the food was great and the people were nice. And we got to remember that America's a really, really cool and vast place. And there's so much to see. And it's so much to do that doesn't require making a huge plan. And so I guess that's my note. Find a slower way to see the world and appreciate the things that are around you. And sometimes it's easy to forget about Twitter and Facebook and all the crap that's going on in the world, because that was for 2 weeks. Um, it was we got to do that. We got to just go check out some cool things and enjoy ourselves. So that's it for today. Hopefully, I'll figure out how to speed up the functions on this computer enough to make it work. But we'll be back tomorrow. Also, so programming note again, tomorrow is FTG Thursday. And on Friday, I'm probably going to do a hangout stream with some people for my 100th broadcast of the Morning Night Live. This is number 98. Tomorrow's 99, and Friday is 100. So I'm going to invite some guests on, and I'll announce who those are hopefully tomorrow morning or via Twitter tomorrow night. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you, especially the. I just again I have to mention Johnny Hellcat and hang on a second here. Where is it? I'm sorry, Johnny Hellcat and Chaos Lindsay, or excuse me, Chaos Lindsay, Chaos Eve, Duck Dog, and Terideus, who throwing some donations over the time that we started losing stuff to urchins in the street. So again, thank you for the donations while I was on vacation. Couldn't appreciate it more. And I think even oh yeah, Chicago Mike did too. So thanks to those of you who were so generous on our vacation, especially after our mishap. That's going to be it for today. I don't have a fancy outro, but I am going to do my normal. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye, everybody.